Hey friends, we are on lesson 1 of our new chapter, chapter 4. Today we're going to be looking at one object with two forces. Today's agenda is we're going to revisit the floating train, we're going to investigate touching force and gravity, and then we're going to discuss two forces acting at once. Today's objective is I can change the stability in the train's motion. So our first activity is going to be revisiting the floating train. So we've already come to an agreement on what makes the train start to rise off the tracks. We know that it's a repelling magnetic force between a magnet in the train and one in the tracks. Now, we have also discovered what makes a train fall back down to the tracks. We know that it's gravity. It's an attracting force between the train and Earth. So far, we have focused on changes in how the train moves, maybe it moving up or moving down. We know that a force makes the train start moving. Now we're going to try to explain a time when the train is stable, as in when the motion is not changing. It's stable whenever it's floating. After the train rises, it floats above the tracks, not moving up or down. We will need to explain why this happens to the people of Faraday, so they're not going to worry. We have learned that the force of gravity is always acting. It's always happening. That's why I'm able to sit in my chair. That's why you're able to sit in your chair and you're not moving. So even when the train is floating above the tracks without moving up or down, the earth is pulling downwards with the force of gravity. So that brings us to our chapter 4 question. Why does the train float even though gravity is acting on it? We're going to start with today's first activity. It's investigating force and gravity. So we're going to be keeping this question in mind. Why would an object not move even though a force is acting on it? Why would an object not move even though a force is acting on it? We know that gravity is always acting, but there are often objects around us that are not moving. We don't have a train, but we can keep a heavy object from falling. Your activity today is to keep a book from falling for 1 minute by using one hand. You might not have a book around you, but I want you to find another heavy object. Maybe your binder, maybe your workbooks with that. I want you to layer those on top of each other. You're going to keep those from falling for 1 minute. But I want you to look at our friend right here. He doesn't have his arm close to him. He has it sticking far away. So that's what I want you to do. You're going to keep your arm far away, holding your workbooks and your binder. Try to do that for 1 minute. I want you to get ready because on the next slide, you're going to have a timer for 1 minute and you're going to press it whenever you're ready.